Neighbor got angry when I didn't plow her driveway, so I moved to an apartment and she got stuck with 6 feet of snow all winter. I bought my first house 3 years ago. Small place, needed work, but it was mine. The neighbor next door was this woman named Faye, who was probably in her late 50s. She seemed nice enough when I moved in, brought over cookies, asked if I needed help with anything, the usual stuff. That first winter I got a snowblower. Nothing fancy, just a decent one from the hardware store that could handle our driveway. The thing is, my driveway and Faye's driveway were right next to each other, like no fence or grass between them, just 2 driveways side by side. After the first big snow, I cleared my driveway. Took me about 20 minutes. When I was done, Faye came outside and asked if I could do hers too, since I was already out there. I said sure, why not? It only took another 15 minutes and she seemed really grateful. Then it became a thing. Every single time it snowed, she'd wait for me to do my driveway, then come out and ask me to do hers. Never offered to pay for gas or anything, just expected it. By the 3rd snow, she stopped asking and just started waving from her window while I did both driveways. I didn't really care at first. It wasn't that big of a deal, but then she started complaining if I didn't do it fast enough. One time I had to work early and couldn't get to it until I got home that evening. She knocked on my door at like 8 at night to tell me her driveway was a mess and she almost slipped. I apologized and cleared it right then, even though I was exhausted. The breaking point was in February. We got hit with back-to-back storms. I'm talking 2 feet of snow over 3 days. I was out there every morning before work, clearing both driveways. On the 3rd day, I slept through my alarm because I was so tired. By the time I woke up, it was already 9 and I was late. I threw on clothes, grabbed my keys, and ran to my car. Faye was standing in her doorway. She yelled at me as I was scraping off my windshield, said I was selfish and lazy for not doing her driveway first thing. I told her I overslept and had to get to work. She said that wasn't her problem and I should have set an extra alarm since I knew it was going to snow. I just stared at her. This woman I'd been doing free favors for all winter was calling me selfish because I didn't wake up early enough to clear her driveway. I got in my car and left without saying anything. When I got home that night, there was a note taped to my door. It was from Faye. She wrote that she expected me to clear her driveway within 2 hours of any snowfall going forward, and if I couldn't commit to that, she'd have to report me to the HOA for being a bad neighbor. We didn't even have an HOA. There was no HOA in our neighborhood. She just made that up. That's when I decided I was done. The next snow came 4 days later. I cleared my driveway like normal and went back inside. Faye came out and knocked on my door. I opened it and she asked why I didn't do her driveway. I said I wasn't doing it anymore. She got red in the face and asked why not. I told her I'd been doing her a favor and she responded by leaving me nasty notes and making up fake HOA threats. She lost it. Started yelling about how I was young and healthy and she was older and it was hard for her. I said she could hire someone or buy a snowblower. She said those cost money. I said so does gas for mine. She told me I was being petty and cruel and stormed back to her house. For the rest of that winter, I only did my driveway. Faye would glare at me through her window every time. She tried a few more times to guilt me into helping, but I just ignored her. Her driveway stayed covered in snow most of the season because she refused to deal with it herself. But here's where it gets good. I was already kind of unhappy with the house. It needed more repairs than I thought, and I was getting tired of dealing with everything. Faye's nonsense was just the cherry on top. So in April, I listed the house and moved into an apartment across town by June. The people who bought my house were this older couple who were barely ever there. They had a second home in Florida and only came back for summer, which meant when winter rolled around again, there was nobody next door to Faye clearing their driveway early in the morning. I found out through a mutual friend what happened. That next winter was brutal. We're talking multiple storms, ice, the whole mess. Faye's driveway didn't get cleared for weeks at a time because she still refused to hire anyone or do it herself. She couldn't even get her car out most days. She had to park on the street and walk through the snow to her front door. She apparently tried to complain to the new owners,